to profit tax that will be paid to the government. It causes rapid business growth. What is turnover? Briefly explain rate of turnover. Turnover is the total value of all goods sold in a period less value of all goods returned inward. Rate of turnover is the number of times the average stock is sold per period. Another question: what are the reasons for the calculation of rate of turnover? 1. To make a trader aware of the number of times the average stock is sold in a given period. It enables traders to design measures to increase the rate of turnover if it is too low. And also it makes a trader to make necessary preparation towards replenishment of stock. Business law. Business law, it is also known as commercial law, is an enforceable body of rules that governs the operation of all business activities in a society. Let's look at the branches of commercial law. We have contract. Is agreement between two or more persons which is enforceable by law. We have hire purchase. It is an agreement to hire goods for a certain period, while at the end the hire has the option to purchase the goods. We also have a sale of goods. It is a contract whereby the seller transfers or agrees to transfer the property in goods to the buyer for the price. Principles of agency is a relationship that exists between two persons in which one of them, called the principal, authorizes the second person, called an agent, to enter into contracts with a third party on his behalf. Let's look at rights and obligations of employer. 1. They employ people and assign them to different duties. They are duty bound to remunerate their workers adequately. They should provide conditions of service which must be accepted by both parties, and they should provide all necessary tools to ensure efficient performance of workers, and they should create appropriate incentives for workers to perform well. Let's look at duties and obligations of employees. 1. They must obey superior officers at all times, and they must be punctual to work daily. Employees must respect his employer at all times also, and they must display honesty. Also, they should uphold their professional ethics and high standard of morality and trust. Government regulations of business. Now, the first one is patent. Patent is a monopoly right which a government grants to an inventor. This prevents other people from reproducing its work for a period, say 20 years or above. We also have copyright. It's a monopoly or exclusive right granted by government to an author or publisher. It protects its work from being reproduced by other people. Trademark is a symbol which a manufacturer inscribed on his product. It gives the product easy identification from similar products other manufacturers. Organizational structure. It is the sum total of the way in which it divides its labor into distinct tasks and then achieve coordination between them. This is a chart showing organizational structure. We have board of director. Under board of director, we have managing director. So the managing director and board of director, they work together. Under managing director, we have managers. Under managing director, so we have personnel manager, we have production manager, we have marketing manager, we have chief accountant, and we have purchasing manager. Under each manager, like personnel manager, we have a training officer. Under training officer, we have personnel officer is responsible to him, and we also have clerks. Clerks are responsible to personnel officer. Personnel officers are responsible to training officers, while training officers are responsible to the personnel manager. Under production manager, we have quality control manager. We also have a production supervisors, and we have artisans. Here, under this line of management, the artisans are responsible to the production supervisors, while the production supervisors are responsible to the quality control officers, while the quality control officers are responsible to the manager. Under marketing manager, we have marketing researchers. Marketing researchers are responsible to the marketing manager, while sales officers are responsible to the marketing researchers. The salesmen are responsible to the sales officers. Chief accountant, under him we have senior accountant. So senior accountants are responsible to the chief accountant. Under senior accountant, we have account supervisors. The account supervisors are responsible to senior accountants. And under account supervisors, we have account clerks. Account clerks are responsible to account supervisors, while account supervisors are responsible to senior accountants and to the chief accountant. We have purchasing manager. Under purchasing manager, we have purchasing officers. So purchasing officers are responsible to the purchasing manager. We have storekeepers. Storekeepers are responsible to purchasing officers, while we have clerks. Clerks are responsible to storekeepers. So that's all for the organizational structure. Authority. It is the power to command others and make them to act in a particular way towards achieving business units. Responsibility. It is an official assignment given to a subordinate or worker to perform, for which he is accountable to a superior officer. Span of control. It is the number of workers who is under the direct control or supervision of a manager or supervisor. And we have interdepartmental communication. It is the means by which persons of one department relate to those of another within the same organization, mostly on matters affecting the organization, e.g., the plant assistant manager that's under electrical department can communicate with the assistant sales manager under the same electrical department. Intra-departmental communication. It is the process by which persons of one department relate to one another within the same department, mostly on matters of common job interest. Review questions. What is span of control? Outline the factors that determine span of control. Span of control is the number of workers who is under the direct control or supervision of a manager or supervisor. outline the factors that determine span of control. 1. The higher his experience and qualification on the job, the greater the number of subordinates he can effectively handle. Another one, if the job to be delegated is complex, the less the number of junior workers for supervision. Another one, the larger the firm, the larger the number of subordinates under one manager and vice versa. Also, we have the higher the qualification and experience of junior worker, the higher the number of subordinates a manager can cope with. Another question. Highlight the importance of organizational charts. 1. It shows at a glance the various positions held by different officers. 2. It shows the line of authority that exists in the organization. 3. It portrays the relationship that exists between all workers and how they are related to one another. 4. It shows at a glance the structure of the organization. 5. It makes people to know the level of hierarchy in an organization. Another question. Highlight the duties and obligations of employees. They must obey superior officers at all times. 2. They must be punctual to work daily.